everyone, Karen here with Yes Please PaperCrafts. And today's video is going to be a little bit of an introduction into a new series that I'm going to be doing on organization. And also I'm going to give a little bit of a demonstration on how I created this tab that I add to all of my 12 by 12 paper pads. I had a couple people ask me about how I did that, so I thought I would do a short video explaining and kind of demoing the process that I used to create that. I want to start off a little bit by just saying I had started this YouTube channel about 2017, and I didn't really make very many videos. I got started, I learned, created a few scrapbooking haul videos just to kind of get an idea of how to create videos, how to upload to YouTube, and all the things you have to know to create a YouTube video. And then last year I had a bunch of renovation that kind of went wrong, which is a whole nother story. But I also had an orthodontic splint last year, the entire year, and it was very difficult for me to speak clearly, so I didn't really want to do any videos. And then in February I got the splint removed and I got braces put in. So although it's a little bit easier, it's still a challenge to talk around the braces. So I'm hoping that I'm speaking clearly enough that everybody can understand. And if I'm not and you're having trouble understanding me, what I'm saying, please put a comment below and I'll try to see if I can do a little better. Okay, so first thing I wanted to share with you was about the organizational series that I decided to do. It originally started out as a blog series, and I have a blog and I'll post the link to my blog below. I've done 2 posts already with organization. The first one was on the Recollection Slim project case and what you could put in it, what fits in there. It's amazing. And then the second video was on the 12 by 12 paper pad organization. And I created this inventory system, which I kind of described how I did it and put some pictures out there. So if you want to check that out, you can go out to my blog and look at that. I'm planning to do a second video to explain more about how I created this and kind of give, everybody go through it and kind of talk about it and show kind of how I went about the process of doing it. So I will go ahead and put that up hopefully soon. So you can check back if you're interested in seeing how I did that inventory guide or reference guide. Okay, so the organization series. Yeah, I wanted to do organization because I really want to be more organized myself. And I felt like if I created a series and I promised people that I would post on my blog, that it would kind of give me a motivation and deadlines, and I could get more accomplished in my own space. And it's funny because most people, if they know me and they've come to my house and seen my craft room, they would say that I'm the most organized person they've ever met. But I don't think I am. So I don't think I'm organized at all, because to me, being organized doesn't just mean that you have things in bins and everything looks neat and tidy. To me, being organized means that if I want to find something, I know exactly where it is and I don't have to waste time searching for what I need. So that's my goal. I want to be more organized, not just appear organized to other people. And I think that it's really important with craft rooms, especially when you think about some people, they've been doing it for a really, really long time. And when you get as much stuff as some people have, I have a lot of stuff because I've been scrapbooking and doing crafting for over 25 years. And when you get that much stuff, it's just overwhelming. The more stuff you have, the harder it gets because, you have to look through so much more. It's easy if you have 10 paper pads to find the one you want. But if you have 100, then you're going to be spending quite a bit of time trying to figure out, which one is the one you wanted to find. So that's the reason why I'm doing the series. Decided to make it into a YouTube series because when I created the blog, especially the one that I did about this reference guide, it was hard. I spent a lot of time writing and rewriting and editing because it was difficult to describe in words how I did it, how I made this, and I thought maybe it would be a lot easier to do an actual video, and I think people would probably prefer the video. So that's why I decided to do the YouTube videos instead. So hopefully you'll come back. I'm going to be posting more videos about organization. I have a lot of ideas about different things I would like to do. I also created a Facebook group for this series called I think it's called Craft Room Organization with Yes Please PaperCrafts, and I'll put a link to that Facebook group in the description below. If you're interested, you can go and click that link and then request to join, and I'll add you to the group. And what the group is going to be used for is I'm going to post their pictures. I'm also going to be posting like just, what do I say, reference material. Like, for instance, if you're interested in what categories I use for my paper pad organization, or if I have any kind of templates or anything like that, I'll post that to the Facebook group. Also, I thought it would be a great way for us to talk. So if you had a question, that would be a better place to post a question rather than YouTube, because it's a little bit easier to have a discussion in Facebook. So if you can post a question here and I will answer it. But if you want to join the Facebook group, I think it would be really beneficial, because you could ask questions, and then also if people have ideas for how, other things that they could do, like things that they would like to share about how they organize, I think that would be a great way for people to share information as well. So that's the information about the new series. I also posted in that Facebook group some information about different things that I was thinking about making videos on. So if you're interested, you can go and look at that post. But I'll kind of give you a few things. I'm going to be doing a little bit more about paper, and the next one is going to be this coming Wednesday will be more about 12 by 12 paper and cardstock, and how I organize things that are not paper pads. And then I have some ideas to do organizing embellishments. Also, what fits. I'd like to do more series about what fits, because I think a lot of people struggle with finding the right containers for their products. And I think that having somebody show you a product and then show you what fits in there, is a good way for you to get an idea of what things, what cases you could buy that work for what you have. So I'm going to be doing some more of that. So like I have Alex drawer units, so I'll be doing a what fits in an Alex drawer, and maybe something on the Rascog carts, and just a lot of different things like that. So die storage, stamp storage, just pretty much everything. So, and if you have anything you specifically want to me to do a video on, just post a question in here in this video, or go to the Facebook group and post it there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with creating this tab. And really, you don't need a whole lot to do this. The one thing I would suggest is to have packing tape and then some paper. And if you want to make it into a tab, you need something like a punch or a punch board. Actually, you could do this just with scissors. You just create that shape with scissors. But it's a little bit easier if you had a punch or a punch board. So what we're going to do first is find a paper pad that doesn't have the tab already. And I have one right over here. Okay, this bin right here is my paper scraps. What I do with my scraps is I actually like to make them all the same size, and I will collect scraps in one of those Irish 12 by 12, the big ones that are really big, really thick. I'll just keep collecting in there until I get a bunch, and then I will just sit and cut them down to if I have anything that's smaller than 6 by 6, I'll do 6 by 6, 4 by 6. Card size, because I do scrapbooking, but I also do card making. So I'll do card size, which is 4.5 by 5.25, and I will, or is it it's 4¼ by 5½. And then project life card size, which is this 3x5. So I use these 3x5 cards for a lot of different things, but it's really a convenient size to have just available, and it works really great as a size to make a tab for this paper pad. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through here and find one. And you know, I'm really funny because, excuse me, I like things to match. So even though it's just a tab and it's organization, I really like my things to be pretty. I think it's nice to have pretty things. So I'm just going to pick something that I think kind of has similar colors. Now, the first thing you want to do is take your paper and you're just going to, you could use a scoreboard for this to figure out the middle, but I'm just going to fold it in half. And then we're going to take our punch board. And you actually don't need to do this next step. You could just leave it like this. This would be perfectly fine as a tab. But I like to do the tabs, so the actual tab shape. And earlier today, I had to go run over to get some sandbags because we're waiting for Hurricane Barry to come. And yeah, it wasn't fun, but I was so grateful the city this year actually had volunteers helping fill the sandbags and load them to people's car, which was really awesome because last year my sister and I were out in the pouring rain with our shovel loading sandbags, and it was not fun. Okay. So hopefully Hurricane Barry will go somewhere else or just disappear. I don't know. I live over close to New Orleans, so we get a lot of hurricanes here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our tape, and this is a Scotch brand tape, heavy duty. It's a packaging tape. Any clear tape would work. I recommend using a tape that's a little thicker like this one, because if you get a thinner tape, it might be cheaper when you buy it, but you're going to be paying for it later because it's going to stick and you're going to have to spend time trying to peel it off the roll. I don't know if you've ever had tape like that, but it's not good. So pay a little extra. Get the better tape. We're going to grab a piece of tape and put it right in the middle. And I did this on my mat because you want to do it on something that's not going to stick, like a stick-free, what do you call that? I'm losing my words here. You just want to do this on a surface that won't stick. Okay, we're going to fold it in half. And I actually tried this, putting the tape on it first and then punching it, and it didn't work very well because the punch board didn't like the tape. I did manage to get a few punch if I used a thinner paper, but I almost hurt myself. It was not good. Yeah, you don't want to do that. That thing is hard enough to punch without trying to make it, you know, putting tape in there. You know, I think it's good for punching paper, but not tape. Okay, so once you get this shape, what you're going to do is you could put a label on it, or you could just write on it with a Sharpie. And actually, one of the things I found out after just recently, I started putting a number. I'm doing a numbering system now, which I'll explain when I do the video for that reference guide, but I'm writing numbers on there. And one of the things, I kept writing the wrong number, and I'm like, how am I going to fix that? I wrote the wrong number. It's so sad. I didn't want to scratch it out, you know, because I like it to look pretty. So I figured out a way, and I was going to show you all this because it's kind of cool. So if you write on here and it's the wrong thing, so like this, say I was going to write the wrong pad on here, DCC, DCWV, whatever, and this is actually Vicky Booten. You can just take some alcohol. This is like rubbing alcohol that I got at Walgreens. And you take that and just, it comes right off. So I was so sad when I kept messing up, but I went and searched on Google and figured out how to do it. Google's amazing. I just love Google. You can find anything on Google. Okay, so I don't like writing with this on there. I'm going to use one of my labels that I made, which is where? This one. Okay, so I like to put the label on first, because if you put it on the pad first and then you try to put the, look, I put it crooked. Jeez. If you put it on after you get this on the paper pad, it's much harder. So, okay. Now what you're going to do, I put when I put my paper pads on the shelf, I put them on like this, where the cover is facing me. It's on your left side. But if you put your paper pads this way, you're going to want to put your label on this side. But since I put mine this way, I'm going to put it over here. So what you're going to do is open it up. And next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to put some ATG. This is an ATG gun. You could use any kind of tape or glue or any kind of double-sided tape. Liquid glue, anything you have available. And this is really not what's going to hold it. You're going to put it on here and it's going to stick to the cover. But we're going to use the packing tape to really hold it in place so you don't have to worry about it coming apart. And so I always can't figure out how to, okay. So I want my label to be facing the cover. So when I do this, I'm going to make sure that my label is going the right direction. And you'll also notice that I'm not putting the edge on the edge of the paper pad, because I want it to stick out, because I want to be able to see it when it's in the bookcase. So, and you'll see here that it's sticking out quite a bit, because if you put it all even with this, you're not going to have much label or much tab to be able to see the label. So I like to actually make it stick out a little more. So the next thing we're going to do is add some packing tape. And the reason why I did that, originally I just put these tabs on with just the ATG, and I had a bunch of them like that. In fact, I got to go back and fix the ones that I haven't fixed yet. But if you turn it over, you can see here, it lifts up, because the ATG tape is not really that strong. It's not really meant for things where you're going to be pulling and yanking on it. So what I've ended up doing is I just take my packing tape and just take a piece and put it right on top, so that the entire label is covered with the tape and it's really stuck to the cover. And I found once I did this, I didn't have any problems with yanking my covers off. And we're going to do it on both the front and the back. Go. Okay, so that's all I have for this video, and I hope that was useful to you guys. If you like this video, give it a like. If you'd like to see more, come back and subscribe. And hopefully I'll have that paper reference guide one up soon. So I was going to do it all in one video, but it was getting very long and I kept messing up. So I decided I'm just going to do just this one part and then I'm going to make a separate video, because it's just getting too complicated and my voice was cracking. So I'm talking so much and I'm doing it over and over and over again. So I apologize if my voice was cracking quite a bit, but hopefully I'll get better at this and I won't have to spend so much time redoing things. Okay, you guys have a good day and we'll see you next time. Bye now.